Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on My TV Charleston.
It's week number 9 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on My TV Charleston. We are west of the Ashley River Wildcat Stadium, a Region 7 5A showdown as perennial powerhouse Fort Dorchester visits their Cross River rival, the West Ashley Wildcats. Hello, everybody. Alongside Sean Mahoney, I'm Zeke Beam. Trooper Bob is with us down on the sideline. Sean, as the saying goes, if you want to be the king, you got to get through the king. And tonight, Fort Dorchester has been the king in this region alongside Summerville for a number of years. West Ashley got close last season. This season, they're looking to take that next step. They have 5 wins on the year. They've had a great season. Now they're trying to take that next step, and that would be a win tonight over Fort Dorchester.
I mean, definitely, Zeke. You talk about a tale of two different programs. West Ashley started this season so hot, 6-0, and Fort Dorchester kind of stumbled out of the gate. Now we've seen West Ashley slide back a little bit. Fort Dorchester, we've seen the Fort D team that we know and love and that we've seen in past years. But the thing for West Ashley is, as we get closer to the playoffs, this is a game that they need to win if they want to be competitive come November.
Fort Dorchester, the roster is loaded. Standout tight end Desmond Mathis, the senior, does it in the run game, does it in the pass game. Got a Shrine Bowl invite. He's a player to watch tonight.
Yeah, when you have a tight end that can be functioning in the pass game, but not only pass game, in the run game as well, it's really a multifaceted player. He's someone who can line up all across the offense and really can give defenses fits in terms of how to cover him. Do you put a cornerback on him? Do you put a linebacker on him? You don't want him to burn you deep. He's one of the key players in this offense, and West Ashley's going to have to look out for him.
And if you're West Ashley, you need that guy to step up. You need your best football player to step up both sides of the ball, and they have that guy in Terry Grant. He's a great story. Plays running back, plays linebacker. Last season he jumped in and played center. He might be their best football player. He's got to have a big night.
We've been talking this whole season about players from across the low country that can play on both sides of the field, and Terry Grant is one of those guys. He's that bruiser. He's going to take you down the middle. He's going to run down your throat. He's also going to be that guy on the defensive side who can stop that run in the B-gap. And yeah, a guy, a running back who wants to play center, pretty special guy.
It is a beautiful night. We've said this 5 or 6 straight weeks. Beautiful night here in Charleston, South Carolina. We have exactly what Friday Night Rivals tries to cook up for you. Rivalry football, Fort Dorchester, West Ashley region title on the line. Certainly implications. The kickoff on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, is next. Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The colors being presented here at West Ashley High School. Zeke Beam, Sean Mahoney, Trooper Bob down on the sidelines. A little bit of a late start tonight on Friday Night Rivals. Holy City time and temperature 7:36 p.m. It is a brisk 62 degrees here at Wildcat Stadium. Holy City Heating and Air time and temperature. We provide solutions for every season. There's a good look at the Fort Dorchester Patriots set to take the field here at West Ashley. We had senior night before the game, and sometimes you have a lot of seniors, and it chews up a little bit of your evening, and that's kind of what happened to us.
A lot of seniors on senior night. Vibes are very high for both teams, and it's going to be a fun one.
Did you order up the weather? Because this is fantastic.
This is fantastic. I mean, it's a little brisk, maybe like me and you both got a little bit of long sleeves on, but great night for some football.
Cruz Chevrolet, keys to the game. Let's take a look at those. Fort Dorchester played a tough schedule early in the year, but they've been getting better.
Yeah, they got to stay week to week. They played a lot of good competition from out of state, and now they're getting into conference play. They've gone on a little bit of a run, won 3 straight, and now, like Coach Steve LaPrade says, they just got to focus on one game at a time, and they are still one of the major players here in the 5A division, and it's going to be a good one.
Had a tough loss at Gaffney a couple of weeks ago, but a real impressive wins against Ashley Ridge, Goose Creek, and Stall. Keys to the game for West Ashley. It's an option football team. They have to play their game tonight. They need to be able to pound the football and get yards at a time, just 3 and 4 and 5, and control the football and keep this West Ashley, or keep the Fort Dorchester offense off the field.
You cannot get into a shootout with the Patriots. They are too talented on the offensive side of the ball to give them more than their fair share of opportunities. They need to get into a heavyweight fight with these guys. Go round for round, possession for possession, and really take the time off the clock that they can, because if they can keep this scoring down, their defense, their offense can do enough to keep them in the game.
And they really led. The Goose Creek game was really interesting because they led 24 to nothing. It was 24 to 24 at the half, and then they flipped a switch in the third quarter and outscored them 24-0. Take a look at our starting lineups tonight. First for the Fort Dorchester offense. Quarterback Zoltan Osborne has played sparingly the last couple of weeks. We featured Desmond Mathis. We don't know if we'll see Trey Ryan at wide receiver or at quarterback tonight, but it's a talented skill set on that Fort Dorchester offense.
Yeah, a lot of skilled players like we talked about. Zoltan Osborne has been a big key to this offense, but they got players on the skill positions that can come in, fill in, and they're going to rely a lot on their wide receivers and tight ends to make some plays tonight.
West Ashley defense led by Terry Grant. We featured him in our open. He's the go-to linebacker. Around him, it is a really solid group of role players to come together to make a very good defense for West Ashley.
I mean, this defense has been fantastic all season. They've been keeping a lot of their win streak at the beginning of the season when they started 6-0. They've been keeping the opponent's score down to single digits even sometimes, and this defense is really going to need to step up if they're going to want to have a chance with these Patriots, and it's going to start with that linebacking group stopping that run.
West Ashley 7-2 on the season. They did not allow more than a touchdown in 6 straight games.
That is amazing.
So this is a good defense, but they're going to be tested tonight. Waiting for West Ashley to take the field, and here come the Wildcats. Fort Dorchester, as you can see, they're ready to roll. They're already on the field. But West Ashley, a little late coming out. Here's a good look at Steve LaPrade.
Yeah,
and the West Ashley Wildcats are, if you follow college football, if you love college football, they are the spitting image of Kansas State. Logo, colors, and all.
Hey, Kansas State undefeated in college football, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 1 loss. Sure, West Ashley would love to emulate them.
Kansas State lost to Tulane.
Lost to Tulane. Okay, well, still top 25 team. So
they are. They're at TCU tomorrow. Should be a great one in the Big 12. We got a great one in the Low Country here tonight. There's a good look at Steve LaPrade, a legend here in the Low Country, coaches his Fort Dorchester football team, and they have flipped their season. We talked to him for a while this week. Beat Buford in their opener. We had them here on Friday Night Rivals. Losses to Grayson and Clearwater Academy. Kind of one-sided losses. He said against Grayson we could have played them 100 times and lost 100. They're top 15 in the country. Also talked about Clearwater Academy and said, that was a 17-14 game. Donnie Kiefer, the head coach for West Ashley, and he has done some amazing things with this program. They had their first winning season in history 2 years ago. We'll talk more about that as the night goes on. Ready for the kickoff here at West Ashley High School. The Patriots and the Wildcats, week number 9 of Friday Night Rivals. This one out of bounds at the 2-yard line, and Fort Dorchester will start with good field position. Palmetto Pride kickoff sponsored by Palmetto Pride. Palmetto Pride litter trashes everyone. Don't do it. A little trouble there with the officials, Mike, but illegal procedure on West Ashley as the kick went out of bounds. And so they'll back it up 5 yards before Dorchester's going to say, you got to put it in play. we're talented back there. You got to put it in play.
Yeah, Fort Dorchester, a well-rounded team. You know, they're going to want to give their returner a chance to run this one back. And it looks like it's DeAndre Ham who's back there for the return.
Ham had a touchdown in our season opener. I think he might have had the first touchdown of the year on Friday Night Rivals, if I recall correctly. Touchdown pass from Zoltan Osborne. That's a pretty good memory off the top of my head.
There you go.
Another kick up the sideline, another kick out of bounds, and West Ashley will go back another 5 yards. So an inauspicious start to special teams for West Ashley here tonight. And Fort Dorchester's going to back them up another 5 yards.
If these were punts, they'd be beautiful punts, but fortunately, you cannot take the kickoff out of bounds.
I think Steve LaPrade said we got to play some football at some point. So the ball comes out to the 45-yard line at Fort Dorchester. Great field position to start the game. Now the question is going to be who's playing quarterback for the Patriots. They've used a couple of them in the last few weeks. And it does look like it's Zoltan Osborne. Number 15 in white comes out. Ball will be placed on the 40-yard line. Zoltan Osborne, senior's worked his way into FBS offers. You hear Georgia Southern around his name a lot. Special running backs around him, behind him in the backfield. We'll talk more about them as the night goes on. Looks like it's going to be Davion Brown back there with him to start the game.
Looks like we might have another kickoff.
And Fort Dorchester, I guess, is elected to back it up another 5 yards.
Illegal procedure charge to the Wildcat.
And have West Ashley kick again. Well, this one's off to a strange start.
This is one of the strangest starts I've seen to a high school football game. It's probably third kickoff. And now if this one goes out of bounds, I think LaPrade might just be like, okay, we need to play. It's another backed up to their 30.
Yeah, so West Ashley almost to their own detriment, trying so hard to keep it away from the return man, Ham. It's actually Mason White that's back there standing at the 15-yard line, not Ham.
Oh, wow.
He's got the numbers tucked up under the jerseys. This one, up the hash, fielded on a hop by the shortstop, and Michael Smalls will pick it up, take it up the right sideline, and starting field position for Fort Dorchester in West Ashley territory.
Well, I guess the gamble by Steve LaPrade paid off. They gained a good 15-yard chunk on that kickoff.
So a little bit of a sleepy start to this one after a couple of procedure penalties and some administrative confusion. But week number 9 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, is underway. Already introduced the starting lineups. Reminder, the starting lineups brought to you by TEC Equipment Rental. TEC Equipment Rental, we rent the good stuff. 1st and 10 for Fort Dorchester at the West Ashley 46-yard line. And straight ahead goes Davion Brown for a couple. Gain of 4, stopped in the middle there. Daniel Dooney, and he's one of the standouts on this defense. Here's Brown popping it outside. He'll have the first down of the game, and just like that, Fort Dorchester in the red zone.
The Boone Hall Fright Nights red zone. Make your screams come true. Oh, that's my favorite card to read each week. But Brown has been 2 plays, 2 Brown runs, and Fort Dorchester off to a hot start here.
Osborne and I think still Brown in the backfield, or did they already swap to Zion Reynolds? Osborne. This is Reynolds, and he's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. There's the aforementioned Daniel Doonian.
Sack in the back.
Will Wagner, Dunian, Kennard, Taylor on that defensive line. West Ashley really plays a 3-5-3 or 3-3-5, depending on how you look at it. They play two rovers, which are kind of hybrid linebackers. Jorba, Grant, Brewster, and Jackson, the linebackers. Doloff, Point, and Bailey is secondary. Loss of 2, but still in the red zone for Fort Dorchester, opening drive of the football game. It's a three-headed monster at running back for Fort Dorchester. This is Reynolds popping it up the middle, and Reynolds to the house. Touchdown, Patriots. Brown got him down there. Reynolds finished it off with the 22-yard touchdown run, and just like that, Fort Dorchester strikes first.
A great play calls by the Patriots, and it is going to be like when you have those three-headed monsters like you talked about, Zeke. There's not much that West Ashley can do to stop them. In 4 plays, 4 runs, Fort Dorchester making their presence felt early. He said, hey, if you want to stop us, you're going to have to get in those trenches and block those holes, those A gaps, those B gaps. They're running right up the middle, and it's early 6 points for the Fort Dorchester.
A Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college. Trident Technical College. PAT is popped through, and just like that, Fort Dorchester strikes first. Sleepy start to this one, but not for Fort Dorchester. Reynolds gets him on the board. The Patriots lead 7-0 early on Friday Night Rivals. Fort Dorchester impressive on their opening drive of the football game, 1.5 and change. And Brown does the work to get him inside the 20, and Reynolds the home run to the goalpost. And just like that, the Patriots up 7-0. West Ashley will have to answer. Kick up the far hash, taken and snowed under, I believe, is the running back Jarrell Rivers, and it will be first down and 10 for West Ashley inside their own 20-yard line. Starting lineups sponsored by TEC Equipment Rentals. TEC Equipment Rentals, we rent the good stuff. Javen Peterkin, the starting quarterback for West Ashley, first year at quarterback. It's an option offense. Terry Grant's the B-back. He's the pounder in the middle. Also with Rivers, Washington, and Brown surrounding him at the A-back spots. The playmaker outside's Ben Peterson. And up front, Hampton O'Donnell, the center, is kind of the quarterback on that offensive line. Peterkin, little fake inside to the B-back, takes it over the right side, and he picks up 9. Nice first run for West Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Fort Dorchester in that first drive really start to pound the rock and try to impose their will on the running side of the game. But this is what West Ashley does. They are an option offense. They, like we said in the keys to the game, they got to start pounding the rock, getting a heavyweight fight, and that's what they're planning to do. The
guy at the top of the list there, DeAndre Jones, keep an eye on him for Fort Dorchester. He is a monster at defensive end. All sorts of next-level potential. That defensive front's really good. Pickering, Acevedo, and McMichael are feisty. They'll be tested tonight. West Ashley picked up a Mr. Sparky first down and a nice opening run for the Wildcats. Now we have a rugby scrum, and we might have another Mr. Sparky first down. If you're an option football team, you love what you just saw. 3 yards after the tackle was, the ball carrier was basically stopped.
Yeah, and kudos to this West Ashley offensive line, too, because Fort Dorchester has some absolute monsters on the defensive line. And across their whole team, I was talking with LaPrade earlier this season, head coach for Fort Dorchester, and he said that a lot of these guys, they have multiple people over 6'5", 6'6", weighing 220 plus. And West Ashley, when you're an option team, you got to get in there and bang with them, and they're doing a really good job with it.
Rivers in motion. It goes to the B-back. This is Grant, and he pops it. Across midfield, I beg your pardon, it's actually Kevin Brown inside the 30, and a big chunk for West Ashley, and they're trying to answer back just as quickly as Fort scored their opening drive.
Wow, what a statement by West Ashley. Answering back, that's the type of big chunk play you need if you're going to keep competitive. And just look at it. Look at Grant hit this hole, or Kevin Brown. Yeah, Grant, excuse me. Or is that Kevin Brown? Kevin Brown hit this hole, run through the tackles, and great job blocking by West Ashley. Brown showing a little bit of that explosiveness. He's been doing really well for those Wildcats, and a 40-yard gain to start the day is really what they needed. Punch them in the mouth, get in the heavyweight fight, especially when you're playing up against such a talented team.
Kevin Brown for 37 yards, and West Ashley, after the opening touchdown by Fort Dorchester, knocking on the door. At this pace, we're on pace for about, let's see here, 3:48, 16 times 100. We're on about pace for about 1,600 yards rushing in this football game. Each team already with about 50.
Yeah, I think
if we're also being honest, about 100 kickoffs.
Yeah. If they're running the way they're doing, it'll be a chance for it'll be interesting to see when that first pass is.
First quarter score bug brought to you by David Ayler Law Offices, your client-focused, community-driven injury firm. West Ashley after the timeout. Fort called it to reset on the dive again to Brown, and just a couple inside for Kevin Brown. Stacked up inside. That was Acevedo, and I think Pickering. Might have seen Jones around his waist. Good group of linebackers. Aaron Lawrence, Connor Morgan, Michael Smalls, Bryce Carpenter. He's one of my favorite players that I've seen on Friday Night Rivals this season. Plays about 40 pounds heavier than he actually is. Number 7 in the secondary. He's going to come flying downhill nonstop all night. Might get him caught in a couple of tough spots in the option, but I love how he plays football. Toss sweep this side. Running room. First down. Inside the 20. Washington lowers his head, lowers the boom, and the Wildcats knocking on the door.
Yeah, another Boone Hall Fright Nights red zone back-to-back drives, and like you said, this is exactly what West Ashley needed to do. Lean on their option. I mean, if you really good at one thing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And William Washington, great lowering the shoulder at the end of that play too, fighting for those extra yards. And West Ashley knocking on the door early in this game.
Extra tight end comes in and Cope as a running back comes off in Downing Blair, a wide receiver. Tight formation here for the Wildcats. Peterkin pulls it. Peterkin lowers his head. Did he get there? No. Around right in, running room for Javen Peterkin. A little bit of fight in West Ashley tonight.
Yeah.
It's been a tough 2 weeks against Stratford and Somerville, but they're on the verge of bouncing back. They've looked good here on this opening drive.
It was, first off, a great tackle by Aaron Lawrence at the end of that. The linebacker making sure to keep the quarterback Peterkin off the field.
I said Stratford. It was actually Ashley Ridge and Somerville the last 2 weeks. Peterkin in tight. He'll keep it. No signal yet. There it is. Touchdown Wildcats. The push inside, O'Donnell, Ramsey, and Vitt guard to guard. And a really impressive answer from West Ashley.
I mean, just kudos to this offensive line. We've seen multiple plays this drive, including this Peterkin sneak that you see right here, is with the offensive line pushing forward. In this option offense, you need to fight for every yard you can get. And just great team football all around. for the West Ashley Wildcats. And this is exactly the start they were looking for against these Patriots.
Peterkin, the quarterback, is the holder. The left-footed kicker is Jacob Adams. His PAT squeaks through. Might have been shaken up on the play. I don't know if he was hit. Slow to get up. And now asking for the training crew. He's a little shaken up. He was hit on that plant leg on the follow-through, but the PAT nevertheless good. And 5 minutes in, each team scored a touchdown and made the PAT.
Good to see him jogging off the field, though. It looks like Jacob Adams able to walk off the field, which is good. But, yeah, well, it's been a good one here so far, Zeke. A lot of offense and a lot of running.
So West Ashley will kick off again. And it was the aforementioned Adams that was shaken up on the PAT. They do have two other kickers on the roster. One is Ryan Harkins, and the other is Mary Catherine Smoke.
Oh, Smoke. I remember seeing some highlights of her earlier this year of some nice field goals and extra points.
MK for short.
There
Saw
we
her
go.
uniform earlier tonight. But Adams looks like he's okay after being hit well after the football was gone. 7-7. Friday night rivals delivering early here at West Ashley. This one's going to go down, at least for a moment, as an E6, picked up on the hop. And running with it right, I believe, is Zion Reynolds. Reynolds with room up the right sideline and stepped out of bounds. Flag flies in. We'll see what that's about. I don't usually try to get too carried away with baseball stuff during football games, but it is, it is the NLCS tonight. Time and place for everything.
Time and place for sure.
World Series less than a week away, or about a week away.
You got any teams you're rooting for?
My Braves are eliminated. I have all sorts of issues with the playoff format. We're not going to get into that right now. It's 7-7 in the first quarter. All right, let's take a look. Good crowd here at West Ashley tonight. Senior night, a lot of pink. Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the crowd here at West Ashley. Reminder, our fan cam sponsored by Fan Zone. All your sports teams gear under one roof. Possession number 2 for Fort Dorchester as Brown in the backfield with Osborne. His first throw tipped away and incomplete.
Well, there we get our first pass of the game. And Osborne, like you said, Zeke, he's been kind of week to week for this Patriot offense. And when he's on the field, he can be someone who can be a big factor, and that was Matthew Chorba on the tip as well.
Yeah, Chorba, nice job sinking from that linebacker spot. He tipped the pass away and incomplete. Second down. I'm not mistaken, that's our first pass attempt tonight.
That's what I did. Yeah, that's what I said. Is interesting by Osborne.
Nearing the midway point of the first quarter. Bread and butter for Fort Dorchester, and why not? Here's Brown, pops it over the right side. Brown across the 40, room up the right sideline, and out of bounds as he goes into West Ashley territory. Well, Steve LaPrade speaks very highly of Davion Brown. A lot of reasons for that. He's going to be a huge prospect here in the Low Country next year. But you can see he just has that extra gear and that knack. Just great feel running in space. And a first down for Fort Dorchester. It'll be fun to watch him next year on Friday Night Rivals as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And West Ashley showed blitz on that play. Fort Dorchester made him pay. He used one of their best weapons in Brown.
Brown this time swallowed up for a moment in the backfield, makes something out of nothing as he shakes a defender off his waist. Coming free inside, but unable to make the stop initially was Noah Brewster, but he held him up long enough to hold him to a yard gain.
West Ashley defense, this is going to be big drives early for this Wildcat defense. Like you said, they've held teams to single digits multiple times this season. But Fort Dorchester came and punched him in the mouth, and if they can get a stop on this drive, it could work wonders for this West Ashley confidence.
2nd and 9, the way Fort's ripping it off right now for both these teams, really, you have to think going to be a lot of 4-down territory tonight. Reynolds in as the backup. Osborne up this near side, complete inside the 30, trying to spin away but unable to. Is the wide receiver Darius Balaam, who has picked up more and more playing time as the season has gone on. That was a strike and a strong arm there from Osborne. Been banged up the last 4 or 5 weeks, But there, nice throw and catch with Balaam to pick up the Mr. Sparky first down. Good look at the Crew Chevrolet replay. Reynolds, some hesitation. He picks up a couple in the middle of that line. Dunian, Kennard Taylor.
And I want to point out someone on the defensive line for West Ashley. Big number 79, Deshaun Ramsey. You can't miss him, but he's lined up right in that A gap with the pink gloves right under center. And he's going to play a big factor, too. Put a big body in there. Make sure that these running backs, like I said, this trio of running backs that Fort Dorchester doesn't have the lanes inside. Force him outside. Maybe you could have some luck for this Wildcat defense.
Weighs 300 plus. He's tough to move out of there. Osborne. Nice throw and catch out wide. Believe that is Balaam on the other side of the field. Actually, beg your pardon, that's Ham. But a catch at the sticks. Actually, that's multi-Snyder, 84, not 14.
Sophomore.
And again, you know, we can run into this every Friday night. We're behind the lights, track, and then the stands. So we're a long way from that throw, 70, 80 yards. Just tough to see the numbers. But it is multi-Snyder on the nice catch.
And with Snyder and Balaam on back-to-back plays, great out routes as they recognize that West Ashley's dropping in coverage. But now they just need 1 yard. I wonder if they go run here.
Brown ahead, has the yard, has a little more outside, and into the red zone for Fort Dorchester officially.
And now we got officially the Boone Hall Fright Nights red zone. Make your screams come true. Sorry, I was a little slow on that one, Zeke.
To stay on top of it tonight. We're going to see a few Boone Hall's going to get their money's worth tonight. So is Mr. Sparky. That's another Mr. Sparky first down. Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. And check in with our sideline hotshot Trooper Bob here in a second. Get a feel for what's going on. Osborne inside, Brown a little running room.
Ball carrier for the Patriots, number 22, Zion Reynolds.
Now I would love to see if Steve LaPrade and the Patriots opt to keep running with Brown or their other duo back, Zion Reynolds, or maybe give Zalton Osborne a chance to throw in this short field. Zalton Osborne has one of the most accurate arms in the low country. He can put the ball on a spiral, and especially in the short down territory, it could be the heat that he needs.
Inside, Reynolds spins and turned back at the 10-yard line. Let's go down to Trooper Bob on the sidelines. Bob, beautiful night for football here in Charleston.
Making the stop for the Wildcats, number 71, Hampton O'Donnell. Along with number 11, Christian Cote. Wildcats.
Might not have Bob right now, still working on that. But a key third down after the stop on the run by Reynolds. Looks to be about 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, just inside the 10-yard line.
Was actually showing some pressure. I wonder if they're going to bring some.
Reynolds with Osborne. Osborne pulls it over the middle. Might have slipped right through the hands of wideout Trey Ryan. And Steve LaPrade will have his first decision of the game.
What a great, it was a great throw by Osborne. Balaam couldn't bring it down, but great defensive showing from West Ashley. And I've seen this the past couple of plays too. They're bringing those linebackers up, showing some pressure, getting a little bit, showing that pressure to Osborne, making him think he has not that much time to make that decision, and saying, hey, beat us with the pass because we're going to bring pressure because you guys are doing really well with the run today.
26-yard field goal attempt from the right hash. Christian Wilson, the senior, on its way. And Fort regains the lead. So a little bend but don't break from the Wildcats. The West Ashley holds and forces Fort Dorchester to a field goal.
There's a table selling 4-5 t-shirts for $15.
And that was a big defensive possession for the Wildcats because you got to think, if you let Fort Dorchester score twice on offense in back-to-back drives, at least get in the end zone on back-to-back drives, it makes your offense have to work a little harder, especially against this stout Fort Dorchester defense. now you can take your time with the option, run some clock, get down the field. A little bit less pressure on this Wildcat offense. They still got to go down and score if they want to keep up with these Patriots, but you couldn't have asked for a better start from West Ashley, especially on that defensive side. And now let's see what this offense can do.
Fort Dorchester 5-3, 2-0 in Region 7 5A. West Ashley is 7-2 and 1-2 in the region. Nice return by the Wildcats out across the 20-25 yard line. So a big one here with region implications tonight. West Ashley really needs the win to kind of try to solidify a playoff spot.
I mean, and they're in a tough division.
It's a very tough region, and I think they're in with a win. It might be in regardless anyway.
You know, right now,
high school football always, because 4 out of 5 teams in the region get in, and you have to stop and look at it, and every game matters, and not everybody's played the same number of games, so sometimes it's hard to keep up with, and you don't have those answers. But 1-2 in the region for West Ashley to this point. Couple of men in motion for West Ashley. That's going to be a penalty. I don't think they blew it dead. I think they still stayed with the play, but it'll come back 5 yards on the illegal motion.
You go back to those standings for the playoffs too. It has Fort Dorchester on top with Somerville right behind, and West Ashley's looking at looks like a legal shift for West Ashley. They're going to get pushed back a little bit, but West Ashley's sitting at 4th in that division. Obviously, you have Stahl, who is unfortunately winless on the season, so a little bit of a buffer there, but still a big game when you're talking about playoff implications, where one win can jolt you up multiple seeds in such a highly contested division.
Two and a half minutes to play first quarter. Toss sweep, student body right. And running room this side for William Washington. He gets the penalty yardage back. Donnie Kiefer, the head coach at West Ashley. He's in his 3rd season. Again, brought the school to their first winning record in school history at 5-1 in 2020. And last season, these two teams played for a region title. And he said last night, he's like, I don't know. He said, we lost to Stratford in the playoffs in the first round. I don't know if Fort Dorchester, we were so up to win the region last year. I don't know if they beat us twice. And this year, it's important for us to play this game. No matter how it goes, let it go, and then refocus for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and this team has been doing substantially better than they did last season. Such a hot start, one of the best starts in program history, starting around 6-0. And now they just got to get that little bit of that momentum back.
Peterkin keeps it. He's stacked up, hemmed in, and pinned down Acevedo Jones, the left side of that defensive line for Fort Dorchester. Also sticking his nose in there, Michael Smalls. It's 3rd down long now for the Wildcats. So the penalties are huge in option offense because they take you off schedule. You're trying to play for 4 and 5 yards at a time, and then 2 backs go in motion at the same time. Suddenly it's 1st and 15.
Yeah, and then especially then you have situations like this, 3rd and 10, where in an option offense, you got to draw up your best play to get 10 yards, which, like you said, on average, you're going to try and want to get 4 to 5. Now you got a long 3rd down conversion up ahead.
Play action, Peterkin looking up the seam, nearly intercepted. Actually threw it out wide. I thought he was trying to dump it up the middle. And it was cut off and nearly intercepted. Breaking on it was Jalen White, the safety. I'm not 100% sure. I think he was throwing it up the sideline to Jarrell Rivers, but just kind of hung it low and in the middle of the field. And Peterkin fortunate to get away from that one. Get away with that one.
Yeah, hung it a little too, like you said, a little too low for that one. Trying to force it down the sideline. And like you said, great play by this defense. Bryce Carpenter was in on that play too, but Jalen White almost with the interception.
I thought he had his tight end up the seam for a little bit of space, and that's kind of where my eyes went initially.
Yeah.
So West Ashley will punt. Fort Dorchester with the stop and a 3-point lead. Nice hanging spiral is taken by Trey Ryan, and he's across midfield and into West Ashley territory. About a 32 or 33-yard kick, and Ryan 10 yards on the return. Short field for Fort Dorchester.
Yep, and West Ashley, like you said, those option offenses, if you get stood up or pushed back towards the beginning of that possession, it's going to be hard to make that up. And now this defense has to step up once again, and I liked what I saw out of them from last possession, where they brought that pressure, they brought those linebackers down, they're playing basically five on that defensive line, really pressuring the run and forcing this Patriot offense to pass. There it is again.
Straight ahead with nowhere to go is Brown. He's stacked up and popped Dunian. Daniel Dunian, the big guy up front. Really good nose guard / defensive tackle.
Yeah, it just comes in, and when you bring the pressure like I was talking about, they only got 5 guys on that offensive line. It looked like West Ashley brought 6 or 7. They got one breaking through the hole, and that's what they got to do if they want to stop this run.
10-7 Fort Dorchester. Osborne up the sideline. Snyder hit on that far sideline. Did he come up with it? They say yes.
Wow.
Nice throw and catch. Little hitch and go as Osborne finds Snyder, and just like that, the Patriots knocking on the door.
Yeah, well, I was talking about bringing that pressure to stop that run. Unfortunately, when you got Zolan and Osborne in the backfield and Snyder running down the side, it's a little bit hard to stop as well. This Patriots team is talented all the way around, but, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to force Zolan Osborne to make plays, but unfortunately there for the Wildcats he did.
Brown straight ahead. Running behind that center, Tyreek Dees, and their best offensive lineman, Lamarian Thompson. There are 2 freshmen on this offense for Fort Dorchester. Ryan Campbell, a running back, and Lamarian Thompson. Futures are uber bright.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of potential on this Fort offense. Final minute of the first quarter. Sleepy start, but got exciting quick, and Fort Dorchester looking to build a 2-possession lead. Osborne, Brown. And back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Dunian again. Also in the neighborhood, Raymond Walker, a junior defensive lineman. And Hampton O'Donnell, the center, bounces out there for this 3rd down snap that will come in the second quarter. Entertaining opening 12 minutes here at West Ashley High School, Fort Dorchester. A 10-7 lead. Christian Wilson, the field goal, the most recent score. That right now, the difference in this one, week number 9, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Third and 8 to open the second quarter. A little toss out in the flat, complete, but nowhere to go for the Patriots. As Michael Smalls bottled up and pinned down. Instead of Smalls, it might actually be Davion Brown. No, it is Smalls.
Daniel Dunian coming up with a huge tackle there. Back-to-back plays for Dunian as well. And it was a great stop, but it looks like Steve LaPrade's going to keep his offense out on the field for this 4th down.
And so 4th and 11. might throw it in the end zone here. You've got those athletes. You got that offensive line and the quarterback.
No safety deep either.
Osborne going to take a shot. Crossing route complete, first down. A strike from Zoltan Osborne, and DeAndre Ham held on. And Fort Dorchester in the red zone.
And a great read by Osborne. Great play call by LaPrade. Seeing that there was no safeties deep, it was man-on-man coverage. They were pressing the box. A slant to the middle and a great catch by DeAndre Ham.
Good look at the Palmetto Pride replay there. Fort Dorchester goes quickly. Osborne inside, straight ahead. Gaping hole, touchdown Patriots. Zion Reynolds, his second touchdown of the night, and Fort Dorchester a 2-possession lead. You could say Zion Reynolds was the man on that run, but it was these three guys in the middle, Murphy, Deese, and Thompson. That hole, he could have driven a car through.
Yeah, parting the Red Sea right down the middle of the field. And he could have walked in that end zone. Great run by Zion nonetheless. And this offensive line, great play call from LaPrade.
BAT good. That's a Trident Technical College touchdown. Trident Technical College, your future, your college. Let's go down to the sidelines to Trooper Bob.
Yeah, we were the principal here from West Ashley. We certainly send our condolences and thoughts and prayers to the entire staff here, the passing of Athletic Director Phipps. We know he worked hard to accelerate this program. What did he mean to the school and the program itself?
He was everything that we needed here at West Ashley. He had a vision for the athletic department. He had a vision for the facilities here. And, for his 3.5 years here, he did an incredible job. He had coaches, hiring the right coaches, getting us where we need to be. Across the field. He's an amazing man. He's somebody who can take his shirt off and make anybody off for it. He really missed a lot of not the same right now, but we know that we're working on his behalf right now and making him proud.
Again, our condolences with you and the family here at West Ashley High School. We certainly need more people in the world like him.
Thanks a lot, Bob. My TV, Charleston, and ABC News 4 are proud to present each participating home school a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 12 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated over $130,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations for My TV, Charleston, and ABC News 4. Well, it has been a heartbreaking couple of weeks, very difficult couple of weeks here at West Ashley High School. Athletic Director Jeff Phipps lost his battle to cancer just 2 weeks ago. Phipps' passion was the Wildcat students and athletes, working every day to improve their experiences and opportunities as a Wildcat. Wednesday, students and friends and family gathered to remember Jeff as both a Wildcat and a leader in the community. Jeff Phipps will be missed. West Ashley Athletic Director. It was fun to talk to both Steve LaPrade, who knows Jeff Phipps, and Donnie Kufer, who's obviously worked with him and was hired by Jeff Phipps. It was good to hear both of them talk a little bit about the West Ashley Athletic Director. Of course, Steve LaPrade is also the Athletic Director of Fort Dorchester.
But, I mean, in that celebration that you talked about Wednesday, it was hundreds of student athletes came out. The stands were almost full, and there was just a community coming together for Phipps. We actually have on the field now as well 4 Phipps painted onto the field. You can tell how much he meant to this community and how much this community is rallying around their family. Heartbreaking loss for this program, but it's good to see this West Ashley Wildcat family come together over these past couple of days.
Well said. Second and short for West Ashley, and they pick up maybe a yard, and it'll remain third and short. Early minutes, second quarter here.
Well, this is a big third down for the Wildcats, but a little bit more manageable than the 3rd and 10 they had last time. Like I said, option offense. They only need a couple yards to get. You got a couple plays in their playbook. Which one do they draw out?
Toss sweep. They get it out wide. Washington looks for a seam. Found it. Found first down yardage. William Washington, nice job of getting to the edge and then getting north and south, and picks up almost 10. That's a West Shore home first down, America's most admired home remodeling brand.
First down.
And a great toss to the outside. And it was just like you said, like Zeke's favorite line student body right. Just take everyone, pull the guard to the right side, and great blocking for the Wildcats and a good first down.
Second quarter replay brought to you by Palmetto Pride. Pickup is important, but prevention is better.
Oh.
Litter trashes everyone. The ball free on the field. Fort Dorchester says they have it. And they do.
Wow. And it was a toss play go wrong as you had Javen Peterkin trying to toss it. It looks like he got tripped up on his own feet and just was falling down and threw a wild toss out to the running back, and he couldn't corral it. And Fort Dorchester, they just fly to the ball. The bad mistake here, as you see, it looks like he got tripped up by that running back.
He pulled it out of the belly of the B-back, and he tried to run the option outside, and as he stumbled, tried to pitch it, and it ends up being a turnover in a short field for Fort Dorchester.
Rivers couldn't quite come down with that.
So will Osborne take a shot? No, it's Brown on the keeper, and a gain of 5. It's one of the things, ball security is so important in the option, and looked like he got kind of tied up at the mesh point. B-back Kevin Brown wasn't sure if he should take it or Peterkin should pull it, and he pulled it and then stumbled, and costly turnover there for West Ashley for his Fort. Again, the short field, and they're already up 10. Osborne in the slot, complete, and it's 3rd and short.
Well, switching to the Fort Dorchester offensive side, the big reason they've had a lot of success in the run game is that offensive line. They got some big boys up there. Lamarion Thompson, he's a freshman, and he is 305 pounds, 6'3". He's starting on that right tackle side. They also have Marquise Wilson, 6'3", 269. So you see a huge run play again.
Yeah, a little throw and catch there. Found Snyder, and there's just a lot of space right now in the slot for Fort Dorchester. And Snyder just right in front of, it's really a corner in Langston Bailey with 6 or 7 yards of pad, maybe 8. And he just catches it at 6 yards and then makes a run. And now it's 1st and goal.
The offensive line giving a lot of time for Zoltan Osborne. Let's see if he throws it again here on 1st and goal.
Fakes it to Brown. Little crossing route other side is incomplete. Osborne was hit hard as he threw.
In coverage for the Wildcats, Chris Dolan.
Well, LaPrade's throwing a lot of these crossing routes.
Yeah, he wanted Ham. I think Chorba was the one upfield to hit him. And so 2nd and goal. Is that an airplane or a train?
I'm trying to hear what that noise is. Taking off my headset for a second. Loud sounds coming over Wildcat Stadium.
You're not used to it. You don't know what it is. You're like, what's going on? In the flat it goes Brown. In open space. Can't make the defender miss. Nice open field tackle on a really talented skill guy in Davion Brown. That was Christian Cope, the rover, upfield to make the stop. Also Grant there to finish him off. And now it's 3rd and goal. So the Wildcats at least once have bent but didn't break on the field goal attempt. You kind of wonder if Fort would settle for another field goal and just keep taking points.
Yeah, I'm sure LaPrade would love a touchdown, and he's made some gutsy calls on 4th down before. The first guy gets to his 3rd down, and looks like LaPrade's going to talk this one over.
Yeah, timeout asked for by Fort Dorchester. Maybe a key moment coming up in this football game. Fort up 17-7. They built a 10-point lead, scored 10 straight. 17 straight against an option offense would be tough for West Ashley.
Yeah, West Ashley, like you said, the key to the game that we talked about at the beginning was ground and pound. Make sure that you are taking time off that clock and not getting into a shootout with the Patriots. And if you go down by 17 this early, it's going to be hard to come back, especially when you don't pass that often. And let's see what the Wildcats do here.
Let's go look at the fan cam, West Ashley student section. Fan cam sponsored by Fan Zone, all your sports teams gear under one roof.
I'm sure those fans would love to see a big stop by the Wildcats on this drive.
Next to last week of the regular season. State playoffs, high school football playoffs, 2 weeks away. So right now a key third down and goal for Fort Dorchester, looking for a region title.
See a lot of pressure on that inside. Looks like the linebackers are cheating in.
Osborne, little fade for Snyder, has a step, multi-Snyder, touchdown Patriots.
Go up and get it, young fella.
For the Patriots, touchdown, receiver in the end zone.
Multi-Snyder got an extra step to the back of the end zone, beat his man. That's a Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college, Trident Technical College.
Snyder climbing the ladder there. It was a great throw by Osborne and a great read by Osborne, too. He saw the linebackers taking the pressure. It looked like West Ashley rushed 7, and it's one-on-one. Snyder on the outside. Multi-Snyder coming up. 5'7", by the way. He's got some hops to get up there and grab that ball.
He's not 5'7".
Might say him on the roster. He's might be a little bit taller than that.
PAT is wide left. That drive, all multi-Snyder and Zoltan Osborne. Fort Dorchester extends its lead. They're up 16 on the Wildcats of West Ashley. Well, we didn't have this at we might have had that.
Prepare to kick off.
Fort Dorchester kicking off. West Ashley set to receive. 16 straight from the Patriots of Fort Dorchester. What's been different since that opening possession for West Ashley that drove it right down the field with the option? It's been different the last couple of possessions.
Yeah, they've kind of got installed in their own territory and a costly turnover last time. We've seen the ups and downs of the option offense. We've seen the great success. We've seen some of the pitfalls. But now it's time for the Wildcats to lock in, and they need to get some points on the board this drive.
Kick taken on the near side at the numbers, bouncing it outside, and a solid return for West Ashley is Tyler Point. Let's go down to the sideline to Trooper Bob.
Hey, every game we have something different that hasn't happened the game before. So this game, as you saw in the kickoff, we took 3 kickoffs to get the game going. Also, it's real quiet on my end of the stadium here. It's because the student section is on the opposite side of the bleachers there. And that noise you heard, Sean, a couple minutes ago, that was a very, very, very long train that came by here.
All right, Bob, thanks a lot. West Ashley back on offense. Here in the midway point of the second quarter, Wildcats looking for a score to cut into the 16-point Fort Dorchester lead. Couldn't quite hear everything Bob said there, but I think he was reiterating some of the same stuff we were saying about the train that continues to go by here at Wildcat Stadium.
So that had to be that loud noise that we were
hearing.
But,
we're right next to the airport. We've seen fighter jets. We've seen big cargo planes. We've seen commercial planes.
You have these headsets on.
Charleston's a neat place. I saw shrimp boats earlier today. It's a neat place.
Gotta get a little bit of every facet of travel here.
West Ashley second down after a gain of a couple. Over the left side goes Peterkin, and he has the first down. A West Shore home first down. Javen Peterkin, nice job of putting his foot in the ground and heading north and south.
Yeah, nice little jab step stutter. almost like something you'd see in basketball where you kind of cross back and then go one direction. And Peterkin, great start for this West Ashley offense. That kickoff really helped them. I didn't get to mention that because we were listening to Bob talk about those trains. But starting on the 40 now into Fort Dorchester territory. Let's see how they capitalize.
Little dive over the right side is Peterkin, and flag comes in behind the play. This could be motion in that offensive backfield. You were talking about basketball, and it reminded me, West Ashley last year had Jaleel Porter, who's now starting on defense for VMI, and he was a difference maker on both the football field and the basketball court last year for West Ashley. He's been a huge loss for this team, obviously having success at the next level, and those types of players are. But he really solidified both this offense and this defense last year when this West Ashley team was so good.
Yeah, he was one of those guys who was the staple of this team. I remember covering a couple games last year for ABC News 4, and he was one of the best runners that I've seen on both sides of the ball. But West Ashley, their next man up mentality. They got a lot of still talented people, and they need to step up today.
Peterkin, a late pitch, and not a whole lot of running room there for Rivers. Nice job by this Fort Dorchester defense of stringing out the option. And it'll be second down at about 13.
I think back to what you're saying, too, Zeke. I think it does stand some testament that West Ashley can lose a guy like Porter and still have the success they had at the beginning of the season. I know they stumbled in these last two conference games, but it's a good sight to see, especially for the coaching staff over there, knowing that they got some guys, especially not all these guys are seniors that are these playmakers. A lot of good people who are going to stay around for a little bit.
West Ashley trying to move into Fort Dorchester territory, and a little bit of a counter look there, goes for a couple, but third and long for this option offense. Now scoring started with a Zion Reynolds touchdown run from about 19 yards. West Ashley answered with a short touchdown push from Peterkin, but since then all Fort Dorchester. Reception from Multi-Snyder, a run from Reynolds, and a Christian Wilson field goal. Fort has seized control as we wind near halftime. Big third down play upcoming here. Quickly to the corner and out of bounds, about 6 or 7 yards short. It was William Washington.
And I'm wondering, because of the run there, is West Ashley in 4-down territory? Looks like they're keeping a decent amount of the offense on the field.
Palmetto Pride replay.
It was still a great run. Nice little, he got a little tucked by the jersey there by what looked to be Connor Morgan. Yeah.
Wasn't a horse collar, wasn't inside the collar, and really good pursuit there from the Fort Dorchester defense. Trey Ryan back deep to receive the punt. Key stop for Fort. Still plenty of time until halftime. But after some bumps and bruises on the opening drive, right now this defense is settled in. Line drive kick. Bounces up the far hash. Ryan takes it on 2 hops. And Ryan jogs out of bounds out near the 30. A 20-yard net kick for West Ashley. And Fort Dorchester will come back out on offense. There is a flag at about the 43-yard line on the far side of the field.
Came in a little late for the officials there. I wonder if it might be a hit out of bounds.
A little trouble with the officials' mic there. I want to remind you, tonight is the next to last week of the regular season in high school football. And to join ABC News 4, Scotty Eisberg and Natalie Spalla on Friday Night Rivals tonight at 11:05. They'll have scores and highlights from throughout the Low Country. Enjoyed talking with Scotty a little bit before the game, and he's headed all over the place tonight.
Yeah.
It's like my Saturday is a little sleepy because of the way the game schedule falls, but tonight's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty's he's a sports guy. He'll drive all the way to Timbuktu to cover some Low Country football if he needs to.
I kind of would like to know, how many games could he get to if he had a police escort on a Friday night?
Oh, at least 5. At least 5. If he could get a police escort. Ooh.
1st and 10 for Fort Dorchester, just inside the 20-yard line. Flags fly again.
start Charleston Patriots.
It calls 4-5. They'll be backed up. Yeah, high school football regular season winding down. Playoffs just a couple of weeks away.
These are some of those games, too, especially for a team like Fort Dorchester and West Ashley, both who were looking that they were going to make the playoffs. It's the games that you really want to solidify your game plan, your offense, your defense, especially as we get closer to that regular season.
Yeah, Zion Williams on the dive, kind of over the right side.
Ball carrier, number 22.
Really just a little bit of a zone play, but ended up getting clipped at the knees and ended up on his back. The big man stacking it up in the middle, Deshaun Ramsey for West Ashley.
Now, this is still a big drive for Dorchester and for West Ashley, too. This defense needs to step up. If they give it up any other points, it could get away from them here early.
Snyder, room over the middle. Complete strike from Osborne. Running room for Snyder. Foot race down the far side. Snyder, his second touchdown in as many possessions.
Turn on the afterburners for Snyder. Huge touchdown play. And an absolute dot from Zoltan Osborne. And Snyder's got that track speed on him. Look at the replay by Palmetto Pride. And Snyder, it was a great crossing route. And the defender had a little bit of a step on him, but Snyder just runs right by him. That extra speed, that second gear. I mean, that's his second touchdown on the day. He's a special athlete.
88 yards on the Trident Technical College touchdown. Wilson knocks it through, and Fort Dorchester flexing their muscle a little bit. Snyder, his second TD of the second quarter. Another look at the touchdown and the foot speed from Snyder. And Fort Dorchester continues to almost meld into that postseason form. I mean, they play the schedule. Steve LaPrade said he was insane for putting it together. Said it was the toughest schedule they've ever played.
Oh, yeah.
Played Grayson in the Cam Newton Classic, Clearwater Academy, a game that was much closer than the score indicated, and they've come back and nearly beat Gaffney without a quarterback. Trey Ryan had to play a lot of quarterback in that game, and he's a wide receiver.
Yeah. Another look at the foot speed here by Snyder.
It's starting to come together for Fort Dorchester and Snyder. He's the game breaker here in the second quarter. It was Zion Reynolds and Davion Brown in the first, and it's 30-7 Patriots. Long crossfield return and slung down inside the 20-yard line is William Washington. And Michael Small's nice pursuit to come up with a stop on the kickoff.
It's like you said, Zeke, this Fort Dorchester team, it's like fine wine. They get better with time. And they, like you said, LaPrade, I talked to LaPrade at the beginning of the season. He said by far the toughest schedule they've ever played. And we're used to seeing Fort Dorchester run the table, but with the schedule that they've had, they've done a really good job. And they're just getting better each week.
First and 10 for the Wildcats. Little option. Peterkin, good pursuit from the Patriots. They had that one sniffed out.
Ball carrier goes to Jarrell Rivers.
Just not a couple of missed blocks there, maybe by on the second level by this Wildcat, the tight end and the center. Both couldn't quite stick their blocks on the linebacker. And so second down upcoming after Washington was forced out of bounds. Able to pull up the region standings. Want to take a look at that. And I've had Somerville, I've had Stratford, so I've had both regions, and I always get who's in what region confused. Last week we had Goose Creek and Cane Bay. It's another region.
Yep.
Straight chop for Peterkin. Throws it out wide, high and incomplete. Was an intended receiver on the play. Was Ben Peterson. And it'll be third down. Stahl's in this region. Stahl's had a tough time this year.
Yes.
Haven't won a region game. they'll likely lose out on the playoffs. But West Ashley, Ashley Ridge, Summerville, and Fort Dorchester all have really solid overall records, and they're all going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, this division, and for West Ashley too, yes, they've struggled a little bit here on the back half of the season, but with their non-conference play, they got to be confident going into playoffs with that. And as well, they could be confident that, hey, we're in one of this might be the toughest division in 5A football, and it's a good test as we get into November.
Toss sweep. And a couple of yards for Terrell Rivers, but that's about it. Fort Dorchester has kind of started to figure it out a little bit defensively. Had an injury after the play. Shaking up on the sideline and then kind of getting, a couple steps back to the other sideline and going down was a Fort Dorchester Patriot. So what do you? So you've got two regions and everyone's within 30 miles of each other, and you have 10 schools and they're all 5A. I'm just asking.
Are you trying to connect the dots?
I wanted to hear what the BA announcer was going to say, but why not have a 10-team region? And
just have them go all out.
You play each other 9 times, then you can go play another game somewhere else and call it 10 games. Is it too much 5A on 5A football?
Maybe.
I feel like it's kind of and these coaches would say yes, but I feel like it's good for the community. I feel like it's good for attendance. It's good for the bands. It's good for the cheerleaders. And I'm all for playing some of these out-of-state games. And I guess they're great for regional and national exposure. Maybe not on a college football Saturday like
4G did earlier this year.
In the year. But, why not play the non-local teams? And then you can go play one non-conference game.
Yeah, I feel like there's a hierarchy to it for sure. When you have like powerhouse programs like Fort D and Summerville who have been good for decades, they want to try and step up their play. But then you have some programs like Stall or other newer programs that are just trying to get their feet under them. Maybe they just don't want some like cannibalization of the 5A region. But I get what you're saying.
It's a lot of wins and losses to exchange. In like a little 10-team league, but
But if every region did that, like if this was a uniform thing from not just the Low Country, but then you go upstate and you're going other places, then I think it could work. And I think what you're saying is right. The community, especially with ones like we're seeing tonight, would love to come out. A lot more rivalries, a lot more Friday night rivals. See what I did there?
Nice high spiraling kick taken by Trey Ryan at the 48-yard line. I kind of just solved the problem in my head. They want it because they want those playoff matchups in the first round. But you would still have those same games all year long, and you'd still have, playing in September and then playing in November is not the same thing.
No.
But they want those crossover games in the playoffs, and I get that. But the regular season to me, sometimes when I look down and see some of the scores, I'm like,
Yeah. But then also it's hard too because then you get into with teams like Fort Dorchester who are like national. You get national exposure, then you get into national rankings and stuff along those lines.
Yeah, maybe you don't play everybody. I'm just thinking, I just want that 12-game SEC on SEC. I really don't.
That's part of the reason we're not commissioners.
Yeah, running room for Davion Brown. Had to fill a little bit of game time there. First down for Brown as he picks up about 11. That's a West Shore home first down.
The ball carrier making the stop for the Wildcats. Number 4.
West Shore home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. Look at the Palmetto Pride replay, and Brown, nice job continuing to get to the sideline.
And Steve LaPrade, with just a little under 3 minutes ago, he could really put his foot on the gas here, trying to put more points on the board.
Yeah, just leaning right now on the Wildcats. That's a gain of 6 or 7. And I guess the other side of it, when we're talking about one of the best regions in the state at any level of football, in any sport, to be honest with you, when you think about Summerville and Fort and some of the teams in this region, Goose Creek, who is really coming on and very talented at some of the skill positions.
We had them last week.
Yeah, they were impressive last week.
Yeah.
You kind of get a feel. You don't want to beat up on each other too much here in the middle of the season. You kind of need a little bit of a breather at times, too. So you kind of understand it. Deep shot here up the far sideline. Ball hangs and is knocked away.
Looked like a little tug by Darius Balaam.
And Balaam pulling on the defender Langston Bailey. Bailey, nice job covering on the play and actually shaking up.
Well, now, if you're West Ashley, you just don't want this to get too out of hand. I understand 23 points is a lot as you see another replay by Palmetto Pride. Jump ball. That's what Osborne has been doing all day, though. Jump balls and trying to make the receiver make some plays. But
well, they set Fort Dorchester set up West Ashley, a couple of throws underneath to Multi-Snyder, and then they hit him over the top with the fade to the back corner of the end zone. So, yeah. But they do have the receivers outside, and they can take some shots.
They got some athletes, too.
And they have a Division I quarterback.
Yeah. That definitely helps.
Want to remind you, next week is week number 10. I can't even believe that. Week number 10 of Friday Night Rivals. It's the season finale. We're going to make the trip
long drive
northeast to Timberland. The Wolves play host to the Land Sharks of Oceanside Academy. Really excited to see Oceanside. Week number 10. Can't even believe it. I don't remember what a Friday night's like. So I have that going for me.
Hey, well, we'll have a nice long road trip from our homes that where me and Zeke, or at least for me, I live a little bit closer to the Mount Pleasant side, so it's a little bit of a drive out to Timberland. Still going to be a fun game, though.
Excited to see Oceanside. That's a good football team in 2A. A lot of really good teams in the Low Country. Buford played in Charleston last night. They topped North Charleston 48-8 in 3A. They're one of the top teams in 3A. Saw them in the opener on Friday Night Rivals. 3rd and 5, final 2 minutes of the first half. Osborne. Reynolds bounces off of a tackler. Reynolds with space. Wants his third of the first half. Just short at the 1 yard line for Zion Reynolds.
Great hole created by that offensive line. And if we get a chance to look at the Palmetto Pride replay, he kind of gets through this hole on the offensive line, and then he looks around. He's like, oh, wait, there's no one here. I can keep going. And Reynolds, he's been a big factor all game as we're in the Boone Hall Friday Night's Red Zone.
It was David Dooney, the backup quarterback and backup safety, over to make the tackle and save the touchdown. But for how long is the question? No gain on the 1st and goal opportunity there for Fort Dorchester.
You know Reynolds wants this one. 1 yard short of his third on the day. He's going to want another chance.
He's not going to get it.
He's not going to get it.
This is called spreading the wealth. That's what this is. Osborne the snap, Brown the give. Osborne kept it himself, and he scores. Zoltan Osborne pulled it and darted around the right end for the touchdown, and Fort has blown this one open.
Oh, he deserves one, too, the way that he's been playing. Nice little look at the camera. He knows he's on TV. He knows it's Friday Night Rivals. And great job by Zoltan Osborne. And Ford has really poured it on here in the second quarter. And that's going to be a Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college. We've had a lot of those tonight, Zeke.
Trident Technical College. Yeah, just at the last second, Brown would have scored anyway. But Osborne's like, no, I'm taking this. You've been healthy all year. I've missed a couple of games. Give it to me. Fun one here, at least for Fort Dorchester on Friday Night Rivals. The Patriots, they're flexing a little bit right now.
Oh, definitely. The Patriots, a big statement, especially against a team that started out so hot, is still going to be a competitor come November. But if you're Steve LaPrade and these Patriots, you got to be really proud of how you've been playing in this first half and how this looks for you guys as you head to November, making a statement to a lot of those big powerhouse teams. This Fort D team, they're going to be competing for a state title this year.
Zoltan Osborne, talented senior quarterback, again, hearing his name in Georgia Southern hand in hand a lot. Some of the best hair in high school football.
Oh, yeah. You think he's a Head & Shoulders sponsor if he goes the NIL route?
They're not a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. So.
That's fair. I was just thinking of the Troy Polamalu days.
Well, these two teams traded punches to open the football game. Back-to-back touchdowns. Fort, a rushing touchdown from Zion Reynolds, and West Ashley, a TD run from quarterback Javen Peterkin from a yard out. West Ashley looked like we were going to go back and forth in this one. And Fort has really settled in. They reeled off 30 straight. Reynolds, Osborne, and Multi-Snyder have done the bulk of the damage. And now West Ashley with 1:07 to play in the first half.
Will begin their drive along the 23-yard line.
Going to have about 67 seconds with which to work. Let's go down to the sidelines and Trooper Bob.
Hey guys, a touchdown before this one from Fort Dorchester. It was a foot race from about the 35-yard line, and with 4 defenders on him, but he got it in there. 37-7 now. You wonder, when is the right time to start putting in some of that second string? What do you guys think?
And one of the things for Fort Dorchester, they've had so many injuries. Talking with Steve LeBrant, injuries and penalties, those are things they're still trying to work through very much, because in some ways their season's just getting started.
Yeah,
they play next week, and they have the playoffs. All these teams have the playoffs, but you're just now building to try and be healthy and be ready to go 2 weeks from now.
I mean, you talked about, like you said, we've had a little bit of injury with Osborne. There's been some injuries on the defensive line and linebacker group for Fort Dorchester, and it's like Bob was saying, like you wonder when you might get to see some of those backups get some time, but the main thing is keep everyone healthy for playoffs.
Running room for Jarrell Rivers here over the left side. He picks up 6 or 7. And it'll be about 3rd and 5. Oh, yeah, and Fort Dorchester plays somebody next week. I can't remember who. They go back home.
Oh, is it
They host a
yellow
team
and green team?
It
maybe?
is. Yeah. Somerville, Fort Dorchester, really one of the great rivalries in the Low Country next week. The season finale. I think if the bracket falls the right way, I think they can see each other again 2 weeks later.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
Somerville and Ashley Ridge playing tonight. That game's 14-13. Somerville with the lead at halftime. I just checked Max Preps and I was like, whoa, there's a score. I'll take it. Throw and catch near first down yardage. Hopefully a favorable spot here for West Ashley to catch for Ben Peterson.
Got about 13 seconds left.
It's a home West Shore home first down for West Ashley just before halftime. They'll spot it.
Oh, no, they're going to call that 3rd and short, or 4th and short, I should say. Nice little plug for our West Shore home sponsor.
Interesting. So my question is, they stopped the clock. Why wouldn't it be halftime now then, if it's going to be 4th and short?
It looks like West Ashley going to call a timeout right at the 3-second mark.
Timeout called on the field. Wildcats.
So West Ashley may try to draw up something to try and squeeze something fun out of these final 3 seconds and 68 yards. But I think if you're looking for a theme or an overarching theme from this first half, is we hear the officials' mics in our ears, so we know what's going down on the field. So we pause for a second. They're going to come out and measure this. Fort Dorchester, after that initial drive by West Ashley, really, really impressive, and it's the skill guys.
It's 100% the skill guys. You talk about guys like Multi Snyder, Zion Reynolds, and then obviously the captain of the ship, Zoltan Osborne. Great to see Zoltan Osborne back, but they've got some athletes on both sides of the ball too, not just on the offensive side. And it seemed like West Ashley, like you said, they had their first winning season just a couple of years ago, and they're really starting to build up this program. Fort D, they've been a powerhouse for a while now, and it's hard to compete sometimes, but I will say it's been a great game plan by Fort Dorchester, and West Ashley did come out hot, but that defense has sort of started to figure out this option offense, and like you said, starts with the skill players on both sides of the ball.
So likely the final play of the first half, West Ashley will just sneak it and chew up a little bit of clock, and that will take us to halftime. Well, these two teams traded punches to open the football game, but Fort Dorchester flipped a switch.
And that's the half, ladies and gentlemen.
And the Patriots rattle off 30 straight to close out the first half. And Steve LeBrant and company right now at least on their way to win number 6 of the season. Take a second, see if Coach LeBrant's going to come across the field and
he is.
Have a quick convo with Trooper Bob. You know, we said the skill guys, the offensive line and defensive line for you to reel off 30 straight, have to dominate. And that's also part of what's happening. They just don't get the credit. They don't get the credit as much. And
a lot of the big reason why we see Reynolds getting those huge runs is because the offensive line is parting the Red Sea.
Coach's work is never finished. You got to work the officials a little bit on as you head off the field. And now let's go down to the sidelines. Trooper Bob is with head coach Steve LaPratt.
I need to come be a defensive end. All right, Coach, quick question for you. 37-7, solid lead from your team for the first half. Are you happy with the way they're performing right now?
Yeah, obviously I wasn't real happy when they drove that ball down on our defense first time, but we made some adjustments. Defense staff did a great job. Offensively, I think we look good, but I'm probably going to get Osborne out of there and start playing some of these other guys second half.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thank you, and best of luck in the second half. All right, there you have it. He told me he wants me to be a tackle for his team. I'm going to be a defensive end.
Impressive close to the first half for Fort Dorchester. The Patriots 30 straight to close out the first half. Zion Reynolds a couple of touchdowns. Multi Snyder a couple of scores. Wes Ashley, an impressive opening drive, but right now the Wildcats reeling a little bit. Fort Dorchester the reason why. Halftime here at West Ashley High School. Fort leads by 30. Week number 9 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Halftime here at West Ashley High School, 37-7. Fort Dorchester with the lead. Beautiful Friday night for football in the Low Country. Senior night continues here at West Ashley High School as they honor the band and the cheerleaders. Just hundreds and hundreds of seniors, it seems like, being honored tonight.
Big school.
It's a huge school, and it's always a special night.
Yeah, love to see these seniors celebrated, and great job for them.
Each week, David Ayler Law Offices and Writers Law Group is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The student selected will have an opportunity to win $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight's scholar athletes, as you see, are Anthony Pereza from Fort Dorchester High School, a 4.83 GPA, a football and track standout. Missed much of this football season with an injury. He is a Habitat for Humanity volunteer and other community involvement. And for West Ashley High School, Carson Owens, a 4.42 GPA, all-state in swimming. He is a school record holder in multiple events, including including second in state last year in the 100 fly and third in the state in the 200 freestyle. I put 200 in fly, and it's actually 200 butterfly. Very involved in youth swimming programs. Now let's go to Scotty Eisberg, who is with our sponsor, David Ayler, for our Scholar Athlete program.
David Ayler of the Ayler Law Office is joining us right now talking Scholar Athlete of the Week. But first, let's talk about you, a new office in North Charleston. Talk a little bit about the new pad and the new digs for your office.
Yeah, we actually just got in there in the last couple of months, still working out some of the kinks, but we're over in the Tanger Outlet. Actually, if you're driving down I-26, you can see our sign, so it's great to have everybody together. Much more team motivated, I think, and you got to come by and check it out.
I will do it. Team motivated, talk about Scholar Athletes. A lot of these kids are team motivated. They are team, but also individual, and that's what kind of makes them stand out for us, and that's why you strike the check.
Yeah, but every year, as you well know, because you watch the same videos I watch, all of them have so many great accomplishments, from the classroom to the court to the field, and then really to the community as well. So they're so well-rounded. It just really just shows the type of individuals that they already are, and only can imagine what they'll achieve.
David Ayler of the Ayler Law Offices. He brings you our Scholar Athlete of the Week.
We'll be right back with more from the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report. Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Halftime here at West Ashley High School. Holy City Heating and Air, time and temperature. Holy City Heating and Air, we provide solutions for every season. Fort Dorchester in control, 37-7 on the football field over West Ashley. 30 straight by the Patriots to close out the first half. Just an absolutely crystal clear night here tonight at West Ashley High School. 60 degrees and 9:05. I was kind of curious.
Yeah.
Kind of curious what the temperature was. Just an absolutely beautiful night. West Ashley, what a great facility this is.
This is a beautiful one the scoreboard is one of the best scoreboards I've seen. Lots of great stadium, and 60 degrees, pretty good, pretty chilly. Probably one of the chillier games we've had, but we're getting towards November.
Hey, fans, we're giving you an opportunity to vote for tonight's Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. Log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for either of tonight's cheer squads, either West Ashley or Fort Dorchester. Cast a vote for the Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. Here are your cheers for the night.
Hey, Fort! Over here, yo! Go Patriots! Go Patriots! Hey, Fort! Over here, yo! Beat the Wildcats! Beat the Wildcats! Go Patriots! Beat the Wildcats! Go Patriots! Beat the Wildcats! This side, red! This side, purple! This side, black. This side, wild. This side, cats. Put it all together now. Purple, black, wild, cats. Purple, black, wild, cats.
We talk week in, week out about sponsors and how important they are to Friday Night Rivals week in, week out. And Fan Zone is one of our week in, week out sponsors. They sponsor the Fan Cam. And here is a message from our sponsors at Fan Zone.
All right, joined now by Miles, the manager of Fan Zone up in North Charleston. Awesome place. Tons of memorabilia, tons of apparel. Perfect for this time of year. What are you guys showcasing these days?
Right now, we are in our peak season for football. We got tons of stuff. High school football in the Charleston area is massive. Everyone who's playing football, I know they got their teams. We got their teams. You can come get your gear down at the Fan Zone.
So many of the guys who played on Friday Night Rivals now playing in the NFL, guys like A.J. Green and Carlos Dunlap and Robert Quinn, so many of them. For you, how fun is it to kind of sell stuff and have those guys more or less bring people into your store because of their fandom?
Exactly, man. I mean, what that tells me is that Charleston's putting out athletes, man, especially these football athletes with all these rivalries going on. We got those teams to represent.
Awesome. Miles from the Fan Zone, they represent our Fan Cam right here on Friday Night Rivals.
We'll be right back with more from the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Hello from West Ashley High School, where it was a meaningful night at this stadium because Jeff Phipps was a meaningful man at this school. The athletics director they lost just last week to cancer had such an impact in 3.5 years in this school. An hour and a half, not nearly enough to talk about all of the memories and all that he meant, but it certainly was a good start.
How at practice every day, he would park right over there up against the school with his truck. And I look every day during practice, right at the beginning, during warm-ups, and I don't see his truck.
They say players play, coaches coach, and leaders lead. What made this ceremony such an interesting and special one? The fact it was the players leading, coaching everyone else up on the leader that Jeff Phipps was.
Phipps was only at West Ashley for a short period of time, but made a bigger impact than anyone in a lifetime ever could. I'm forever grateful to have known him. Thank you, Coach Phipps, for believing in me. Thank you for pushing me. Thank you for everything. I hope you're at peace now, and we will take care of everything down here.
Ask anyone around, and to a man, you'll get a pretty similar answer. Jeff Phipps, more than a leader, more than a boss, a friend, a confidant, a West Ashley Wildcat.
The nicest person you'll ever meet, the hardest working person you'll ever meet. No matter what he had going on, he put down whatever he was doing to help you out. And I know people say that all the time about their friends and family, but that's who Phipps was, you know, and he gave his all to West Ashley.
He truly cared about not only the school, but all his players and everybody around him. And I think that's the biggest thing that will be missed is how much he truly cared and valued everybody.
If there was something Jeff Phipps wanted, more than facilities, more than wins on the field, it was solidarity in the community and within the school. He got that, and now he's remembered with that. An alma mater, with everyone singing together for him. I'm Scott Eisberg. I'll send it back to you.
Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Palmetto Pride Halftime Report, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Zeke Beam, Sean Mahoney, Trooper Bob, Fort Dorchester in control at halftime and starting to round into that form they may have had at the end of last season when they were a state championship contender.
Yeah, they're one of those teams LaPrade talks about. They played one of their hardest schedules to date, and now you're seeing it. They are peaking at the right time, and unfortunately for today, West Ashley Wildcats, the victims of those.
Let's take a look at some first half highlights. There are plenty of them, a lot of them for the Patriots, as Zion Reynolds got us started right up the gut. That offensive line established control early.
Yeah, you saw a lot of the run early, but on both sides too, as West Ashley came back, it was Peterson with the, or Peter Kinn, with the keeper, and it was back and forth for the first couple of sessions. It was a good stop by West Ashley, got a field goal, and then this is kind of when Fort Dorchester took over.
Zoltan Osborne, Zion Reynolds, Snyder went to work, and Fort controlled both lines of scrimmage and really kind of seized control late first quarter.
Yeah, as you see, and Snyder made some fantastic plays jumping up the ladder. And then this was the biggest play of the game, 88-yard bomb from Osborne to Snyder. Snyder with the second gear to get into the end zone. And it's been all Fort Dorchester from then on out. And we'll see if we'll see more in the second half.
Let's go down the sidelines to Trooper Bob.
I'm here with the coach. Coach, down by 30, still a lot of football game to play in the second half. What do you tell your team to keep their head in the game, and what would you like to see more of in the second half?
The only thing you can say in a situation like this is don't quit, go out and play hard and try to win the second half. I mean, there's not a whole lot of words, not a whole lot of inspiration when you're down like this. We have a good team still. We're going to keep playing.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Best of luck. Thank you.
Both teams out of the locker room trying to warm up here in the second half. We're trying to warm up here in the booth. It's cooled off considerably. It's a little different than it was at 3:30 this afternoon.
A little different than it was at the beginning of our season for Friday Night Rivals. We were sweating up here in the booth, but now we're asking for more layers.
Yeah, you weren't at the first Fort Dorchester game on August 26th against Buford. It was about 146 degrees.
Ooh.
And
we've really gone through all the elements here, Zeke. We've gotten rained on. Now it's cold. We've been in extreme heat. We've had beautiful weather. 4 seasons.
You know, we've been fighting Bob's mic for a couple of weeks, and you think back to the Phillip Simmons game against Timberland.
Oh, Bob was a trooper.
And it's pouring down rain, and he's standing in 4 inches of water, and his mic worked perfectly all night at Phillip Simmons, and just a torrential downpour. And then we had a couple of good weather weeks, and he's been battling it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, Fort Dorchester, we said they needed to stay week to week. They've improved again this week.
I think they've 100% hit that key, 2 ahead. They've improved this week. They've really found their rhythm, and like you said, just focusing on this game, focus on this West Ashley team, and focusing on the task at hand, which was stopping that option. And they did that early and often, and now they're rolling.
West Ashley on the other side. You just get back to basics. You're just trying to get your 4, 5, 6 yards of play in that option offense. You execute, and you just have to take what's there. Try to get a couple of scoring drives because you can't get it all back at once.
Yeah, I think what you said there at the end was the key. You cannot tear this lead down in one possession. You have to take it drive by drive, really get your feet back under you, get your confidence back in your offense. The option has worked very well for them all season, and it started to sputter here towards the end, and they just need to get their confidence back, and really getting some points on the board here, whether it's enough to win the game or not, would go a long way for this Wildcats team.
Fort, who got it first to start the football game, will kick here in the second half. And West Ashley will have a chance.
Oh, here we go.
West Ashley will have a chance with the ball first. And just as the game started with 2 penalties on a kickoff, we start the second half with another.
I'm feeling deja vu, Zeke. Oh, geez.
Week number 9 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Couple of 5A teams. West Ashley a resurgent program and a program that Donnie Kiefer right now is really taking to new heights. They've had their 2 winning seasons in 3 years. They were 5-2 during the COVID year, and then are going to finish with a winning season this year. Currently 7-2, headed back to the playoffs. And now West Ashley, to open the second half, going to try to put a couple of drives together and claw back into this one. Like I said, you can't do it any more than 5, 6, 8 yards at a time. A couple of chunk plays and a couple of stops on defense.
They just need to get their confidence back. That's the biggest thing. We've seen these last couple of drives. It looks like their option offense. Obviously, Fort Dorchester has figured it out to some extent, and it doesn't look like they're running it with the confidence or the speed that we saw in the first drive of the game. So just take it play by play. Get a couple chunk yards here, a couple chunk yards here. Go down the middle, go to the outside, see what works, and just get a little bit of that confidence back.
Tight formation for West Ashley on their first snap of the second half, and Peterkin weaves his way for 10 yards. Nice job reading it up the middle there and feeling his blocks. Nice job walling it off there by Dalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Peterkin, good read, as you see in the David or in the replay we have here, sponsored by I've lost it, the Crew Chevrolet. Excuse me for that one. A little bit of a brain fart there, but we see Peterkin, great read there and a great first down. Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
Peterkin follows his B back through the hole there, picks up a couple, stacked up by Camden Hawkins off the bottom of the pile for Fort Dorchester. Also in there, DeAndre Jones. Jones is a good-looking defensive end.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
next level college potential, going to play at the next level. He's a senior, got to get some things figured out.
Mm-hmm.
But he's 6'3", 260, and he is going to appeal at the next level to somebody in a big, big way. Moved inside to the tackle spot. He's playing a little 3 technique here. Got upfield. Peterkin went around him, and he's popped at the end of that run near first down yardage. Big hit coming up from the safety spot. That was Nick McGill. I beg your pardon, the cornerback.
Yeah, look at this replay, too. Peterkin's making some good reads, seeing the holes and getting him a little bit trip up there, and Nick McGill made him pay. But, hey, I know we were talking about this. We were talking about this Fort Dorchester defense, and they fly all across the field. They not only have those big bodies that you're talking about, including DeAndre Jones, but they got some speedy defensive backs that are not afraid to come up and make some hits.
It's a safety, Jalen White, also on that last tackle, and here's a little keeper for Peterkin stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Whole lot of nothing there for him. Smalls was upfield with the pressure, and it kind of slowed him down, and after that, just a wave of White. But a couple of Mr. Sparky first downs to open the second half for West Ashley.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and they're taking it play by play, chunking yards away. Let's see if they can just keep up this momentum.
Yeah, West Ashley is 3-0 against Region 6. They do have wins over Cane Bay, Berkeley, and Wando. They beat Cane Bay 6-3. They beat Wando 7-0. Shut out Berkeley 26-0.
Those aren't easy games either.
And so they will have, when that postseason rolls around, as long as they don't draw Goose Creek, they're going to have some familiarity potentially with their first round opponent.
Yeah, and who knows? Once you get in the playoffs, one win can give you all the confidence in the world, and it's anybody's game when you get into those later rounds.
3rd and 5, West Ashley opening drive of the second half, running room, first down yardage, as Rivers does a nice job of following his blockers. A little toss sweep.
Great play.
Nice seal to the inside by Grant. Nice kick out by Washington.
Yeah, and a great play call by West Ashley too. You saw the quarterback Javen Peterkin taking a lot of those inside handoffs for these inside quarterback keepers, and now you toss it to the outside with William Washington. Get a nice first down, Mr. Sparky first down.
On the dive, it's the B-back Grant. Did he lose the football?
He did.
Yeah, fumble, and Fort Dorchester has it. Out of there with it is Connor Morgan, the middle linebacker, and the Patriots get a stop.
Yeah, it's actually Andrew Jackson, looks like, or no, it was Connor Morgan. Andrew Jackson's on West actually, but it looks like he got the ball poked out, or maybe there's a fumble in the handoff to Terry Grant.
Just didn't get it cleanly from Peterkin, almost like he wasn't expecting it. And Terry Grant, who we featured in the Open, he and Peterkin a little trouble with the exchange, and Fort Dorchester has it for their opening drive of the second half. So a promising drive for West Ashley Stalls. Around left end, popping it free is the quick-footed running back Jeremiah Capers. Check that. That's Ryan Campbell. He wears a different number at home. He's wearing 44 tonight, and he sprints around left end. And he's the young man. When I was talking with Steve LaPrade last night, he said 29, and then I realized now that they're on the road, he's wearing a different number, but freshman. And he's raved. Coach LaPrade raved about the feet on this young man. Said he's going to be really special, and you can see it there on his first touch tonight. Mr. Sparky, first down for the Patriots. Campbell again. Bounces it outside and picks up a couple.
Fought for a couple extra yards on the back end, too. Freshman fighting through that first contact and keeping his feet moving. That's the thing about Fort Dorchester as we take a look at the replay presented by Crew Chevrolet. As the freshman,
he bounces off a Tyler Point, keeps his feet, and stays in bounds for a 9-yard gain.
Fort Dorchester just has so much depth, Zeke. When you have a guy like Jeremiah Capers, this isn't Jeremiah Capers. This is
that's Ryan Campbell. Campbell coming this way, cuts it back inside. Flags fly. This one might not stand. He's slung down at the 9-yard line, but I think there's going to be a hold called out wide. As I think they might have called it on Trey Ryan outside, and then on the right tackle, might have been Gabe Summers on the inside. I don't know if we need to see that one twice, but that one's going to come back on the hold.
Holding. Charge for the Patriots.
You see the running back time to take it to the outside. Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a chop blocker hold on the outside. Gave him that big room. Rough tackle down, but Fort Dorchester keeps moving the ball down the field.
So a little bit of an administrative discussion. I think they walked off. Was there a face mask at the end of the play?
Might have been.
Okay, so we had a holding call on the run and then an unsportsmanlike on West Ashley at the end of the play. So it comes back 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and then it's another 15 and an automatic first down, which means we're inside the 20-yard line, which
it's the Boone Hall Fright Nights red zone. Make your screams come true, and Fort Dorchester's is not their first red zone appearance tonight, and probably might not be their last.
Osborne a little read as he faked it and then pulled it. Nas Ridley now the running back for the Patriots.
I would like to actually check you. I do not believe that's Auburn. I believe that is the freshman Banks Wickersham getting some minutes here in the second half.
You're absolutely right. I just assumed, thinking, starting the second half, starting quarterbacks back out there. But Fort Dorchester really shut the door there in the first half, and they get the early stop. Here's Campbell. Outside. Campbell cuts it up. Campbell stopped just inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal.
It's the freshman show here early in the second half with Campbell and Wickersham. And they're doing just as good as the starters were.
Nice pursuit all the way across the football field by Davian Kennard Taylor. He made the tackle, and then he gets to run 60 yards off the field. Campbell again. Bounces it outside, looking for the pylon. Did he get there? Haven't seen a signal yet, but he's close. Ryan Campbell ran out of real estate just shy of the goal line. It'll be 2nd and goal from about 2 feet out. Good look at the Crew Chevrolet replay.
Yeah, you see Ryan Campbell. He's got that lateral speed that really makes you work, and then tries to get, looks like he clipped his own player a little bit. Just short. Tried to reach over, but his hand went down. See if he gets another opportunity here.
Wickersham Campbell, straight ahead, pinballs, touchdown Patriots. As he gets older, this kid's just 13, 14 years old. Ryan Campbell's going to get bigger and stronger, but this time in between the tackles, he gets the touchdown. And an impressive debut in this football game for Ryan Campbell, a Trident Technical College touchdown. Trident Technical College, your future, your college.
Yeah, and Ryan Campbell, and look, you got
a little bit of power.
A little bit of power, and you also does also help when you have another freshman, Lamarion Thompson, who is 305 pounds, pushing you into that end zone. So definitely a help on that side as well.
Yeah, the 3 young names that Steve LaPrade said last night on the phone to keep an eye on: Davian Kinlaw, Ryan Campbell, and Lamarion Thompson. So those are the 3 that were really starting to come on.
And those are young guys, too. Fort Dorchester just knows how to breed talent and really have a lot of sustainability from year to year.
Fort Dorchester in control. They score on their opening possession of the second half. Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet.
Really easy.
Fort Dorchester flexing their muscle a little bit. They lead rival West Ashley 44-7 here in the midpoint of the third quarter. Most recent Patriot touchdown coming from freshman running back Ryan Campbell. And for West Ashley, you're still working. You're still back to basics. Put together a couple of drives, execute your option. Maybe don't have the firepower to scrap back into this one, but just trying to build on something for their regular season's done after tonight. They're 7-3, trying to build on something for 2 weeks from tonight when they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, they want that moral victory at the end of the night. Look, Fort Dorchester has won one of the powerhouses for years. They knew that coming in. They knew they were going to get a test. And while they haven't got the success on the scoreboard that they would like, they can still get some momentum towards the end of this game if they could just execute those plays, get confident with yourself going into playoffs in a couple weeks. And they had some success on this last drive, but just a turnover at the end there messed it all up. But let's see if they can keep it going this drive.
Kick up the far hash, taken by Rivers. He finds some running room out to the 25-yard line.
Be sure to check out.
I said Rivers, it's number 4, not number 2. And that's Tyler Point. That'll be first down for West Ashley there.
Shirts for adults, $10 for students, $5. Once more on the home side concession stands, 4 Phipps t-shirts, $15 apiece.
Full night of high school football from all around the Low Country. We'll try to check that Somerville West Ashley Ridge score for you here in just a moment. See if we can find an update on it. West Ashley, their second drive of the second half. Toss sweep to Rivers, working his way this way, picks his way for about 6 or 8 yards, and finally shoved out of bounds right around the 35-yard line, near a Mr. Sparky first down.
Rivers had a lot of success on those outside tosses. When the beauty of the option offense when it's good is that you can pound that rock down the A gap and the B gap and down the middle. It opens up outside.
Southside 17. First down.
A little bit of a timeout for players shaken up on the West Ashley sideline.
So we'll actually have an update in division in the meantime while we wait for this. According to Somerville Football's Twitter, tweeted out 2 minutes ago, headed into the fourth quarter, 28-13, Somerville on top of Ashley Ridge.
Somerville, Fort Dorchester next week could be fantastic. It really could be a special football game.
That could be game of the year in the Low Country.
5 or 6 yard gain for Javen Peterkin on first down. When you watch these two, you see West Ashley doesn't quite have the firepower Fort Dorchester does. They just don't have the same athletes in some spots. But this is a well-coached football team that really executes this offense. And they certainly have a chance to surprise the people here in a couple of weeks.
100%. They are well coached and they have the right schemes, and they're very smart with how they attack different teams. But when you're facing a team like Fort Dorchester, sometimes it doesn't matter what, you can throw the whole playbook at them, and their athletes are still going to be enough to take the victory.
Past the midway point of the third quarter, those of you just joining us, Zion Reynolds, a couple of early touchdown runs for Fort Dorchester. These two teams traded touchdown drives on their opening 2 possessions, a field goal by Fort, and it has been pretty much the Zoltan Osborne and Multi Snyder show since, with a sprinkling of Ryan Campbell and Zion Reynolds and Davian Brown in there. Little lead play for Kevin Brown. He's driven backwards, and fourth down upcoming for West Ashley. And Fort defense relentless and active. Aaron Lawrence, the linebacker, with the stop. Good look at Lawrence right there. Camden Hawkins, the backup defensive end. Connor Morgan, you can see him on the left side of your screen calling out the defensive play in the middle. 4th and 3 for West Ashley. Trying to move the chains here. Closing minutes of the third quarter. And Fort Dorchester, I think, gave him a free first down. Nick McGill might have jumped at his cornerback spot.
And you're correct.
So a free 5 yards for the Wildcats.
That's going to be good for a Southside 17.
And West Ashley will need a yard to move the ball across midfield. They pick up a Mr. Sparky first down. Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. Toss sweep this way, lowering his head and fighting for yardage is Jarrell Rivers.
And there's that, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but there's that train Bob was talking about earlier.
There's actually the backup running back, Anthony Grant. The West Ashley running backs are like right in a row. They're like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There will be a test on this later.
you gotta wonder. It's like, okay, if you're a running back, if you have this set of numbers.
Well, and the way this option works, you fake to one and you cross to another, and so you have to see them a couple of times before you really get to know everybody. You almost have to see their body types, because when you see them at an angle on the side, the numbers don't help you. A fumble in the backfield by Peterkin. He loses it. I don't know if Fort Dorchester controlled it before it went out of bounds, wrestling for it on the sidelines. As I think Morgan tried to pick it up. Actually, it was Camden Hawkins who tried to pick it up, couldn't come up with it, and I think West Ashley's going to get to keep the ball.
Wow. If this does end up being West Ashley's ball. Wow. If this does end up being West Ashley's ball, LaPrade is going to have a day with him in the field, in the film room. It's one of those moments, coaches preach it, jump on the ball, don't try to pick it up and be the hero. And you get those, those plays where it does go 20 yards back, but that could have been an easy recovery for the Patriots there.
Yeah, Peterkin went to pitch it, and his pitch man wasn't there. As the Cruz Chevrolet replay shows us, nobody recovered it before it went out of bounds. And so, as a result, just third down long for West Ashley. One problem is they need East Ashley.
Yeah.
They need to cross the river for a first down. Little dive play for Peterkin. As Brown plows ahead. Picks up 3 or 4. Dorchester's done a nice job of taking away the dive tonight. It's kind of the first rule against the option. You just kind of have to force it outside.
Yep. I mean, we saw it. I think they saw how that first drive went when West Ashley was breaking off big chunk plays going through the A's and B gaps in that offensive line. And Fort Dorchester said, okay, we got some bodies we can put to fill those gaps. And that's kind of solved their problem from there on out.
Darius Balaam deep to receive the punt. Nearly hit a Fort Dorchester player at the 40, and it bounds out of bounds at the 30, and that's where Fort will go on offense. Maybe time for a couple more snaps here in the third quarter. 44-7, Fort Dorchester in control.
I know we got a lot of the freshmen in. Some of the backups for Dorchester getting some good playing time. You wonder if we're going to see any passing or if it's more just going to be Fort Dorchester testing out their run game. I mean, they got the players to do it. Looks like we might have another.
Yeah, Tremel Davis is in at running back.
Another change of quarterback, possibly? Is that a...
That's Charles Watson in at quarterback. He fakes and turns upfield and picks up 5 or 6, and that might put it into the third quarter. It looks like they're, at least for the moment, trying to go quick. And they won't. They'll let the third quarter clock expire. Well, now there's a discussion. The official's not even going to let them snap it.
They said nope, that will definitely do it for us for the third.
Fort Dorchester impressive. Patriots in control through 3 quarters. Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
He said
Start of the fourth quarter, running room over the right side near first down yardage for Tramel Davis. And he'll come up just short of the West Shore home first down. Fourth quarter replay. Scorebug brought to you by Cruise Chevrolet. Cruise Chevrolet on Rivers. You've got a friend in the car business. Start checking those boxes.
Make sure we get them all in.
3rd and 1 for the Patriots. We were tied 7-7 after 2 possessions and thought we were in store for a shootout. Fort Dorchester said no. Oh, big hit on the near sideline. Helmet comes flying off and flagged down behind the play.
It's Dave.
Might have been some helmet to helmet in that, but there was a lot of shoulder to shoulder, and I'm not sure he even had his helmet came off. I'm not sure he even had his helmet strapped on.
Yeah, let's take a look as we look at the replay. Palmetto Pride replay. Looked mostly shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, it wasn't really crown to crown. It was more side to side, and that might have just been a strap issue, but Fort Dorchester called for holding behind the play.
And you know who was
really good look there on the replay, though. That's you get the shoulder in there and you get the side to side, then one helmet just flies off.
That's a clean tackle, yeah. And even one of the funny part about this on the tackle was David Dunian. We've heard a lot of the Dunian brothers. There's 3 on this team. David is the leanest of the 2, with the other 2 playing offensive and defensive line respectively.
So 3rd down, right at 10. Davis, right side, picks his way for about 7. He'll come up a couple of yards short. And the aforementioned David Dunian, backup quarterback, backup safety. Nice job in pursuit there to make the stop and force a Fort Dorchester punt.
First time we're seeing the Fort Dorchester punter getting some work here.
Is this Fort's first punt of the night?
I think it is. I cannot remember a drive where they did not punt. I think they've scored on every drive.
Receiving for the Wildcats, number 7, David Dunian.
Fort letting the clock run. Little rugby-style kick. Nice punt there by...
Oh, beautiful roll.
That's Trey Ryan. That punt's going to go 55 yards, no return. How's that for field position? I don't have a spotter, so I have to stop and I have to count in my head on the fly. But a 55-yard kick for Trey Ryan. And you would talk about flipping the field. Trey Ryan, he's a versatile football player. I hope he gets a chance to play at the next level. Because he really is one of those players. He blocks on the outside. He can play quarterback. He's just a versatile athlete, and he's good to have on the field for your football team.
Yeah, definitely. I a little undersized, but still has that athlete in him, that, for lack of a better word, that dog in him, where he can go anywhere. Coach Steve LaPrade wants him to go, and LaPrade, from what we've heard, has loved this guy, having this guy on his team.
Running room and a first down out across the 20-yard line as West Ashley escapes the shadows of their own goalpost. Javen Peterkin on the keep. You know, from our angle and from where we are, you're just going to have to wait to see if somebody pops out on the other side. We don't have a great angle looking out the windows at that football, at the action right now. But Peterkin, a nice job of reading it, pulling it, taking it over the left side for 12 or 13 yards.
And hey, look, I know it hasn't been the game that West Ashley has wanted to see, but you still have a lot of promise. And Peterkin is one of those athletes too. He is a great leader for this offense and good decision making. Has had a couple mistakes tonight. That's going to happen when you play teams like Fort. But
straight ahead for Grant. He'll pick up 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Peterkin.
Yeah, Roman Hamilton and Peyton McMichael, they've been going at it all night.
Yeah.
in a 44-7 game, they got a little extra in there at the end. It might be time to give one of them a break.
Yeah, definitely. And also, if you're West Ashley too, this is not what you want. You don't want to get any extracurriculars going at the end of the game. It's I guess the same for both sides.
Yeah, I don't
too.
think that was one way or the other. I think those two have just been hitting each other all night, and eventually you get tired of seeing the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. You bang into each other enough. I don't know if any human would want to keep having that contact all night.
Jalen White up on the stop on second down for Fort Dorchester. He's backup safety. We've said his name a lot tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Third down and a short 5 for West Ashley. 8 minutes, clock runs here in the fourth quarter. Over the right side, and short of the first down is William Washington. It's not often a team gets the final week of the season off, but West Ashley gets that. And, kind of gives them a week to rest and kind of hone things in. But what do you try to get done in the off week?
You try to look at the past couple of weeks, and look, I think once they started the season so hot, undefeated, and then they had 3 straight losses against really good teams in Somerville, Fort Dorchester, and Ashley Ridge, and you start to, I think this is where you really hone in on that film. You say, hey, we had it going great in this first half. What has changed, and what can we use this extra time to try and focus on and right the ship as we head into the playoffs?
Timeout asked for. We'll take a break. Fort Dorchester in control. West Ashley to punt, but Fort Dorchester in control, 44-7. Here on week number 9 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Zeke Beam, Sean Mahoney, Trooper Bob. Low driving kick taken by Ham, and he returns it right to midfield. And now for our coolest play of the game, Holy City Heating and Air.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to choose this one. Multi-Snyder, 80-yard touchdown, and he just turned on the Jets at the end of this one. Really, this was probably one of the nails in the coffin of West Ashley. Multi-Snyder making plays all day, but that one was definitely the coolest.
Holy City Heating and Air's cool play of the game. We provide solutions for every season.
He's got some burners on that guy, and a lot of these athletes on the outside do for Fort Dorchester.
Well, I don't think that's the last time we've said Multi-Snyder's name tonight. Yeah. Maybe in game action. Just a hunch. Fourth quarter scorebug brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers. You've got a friend in the car business.
For the Patriots, number 44, Ryan Campbell.
And Friday Night Rivals has a friend in Cruz Chevrolet, if you will.
Yeah, there you go.
Hampton O'Donnell.
Certainly grateful for their continued commitment to Friday Night Rivals. We say it every week about this time when, especially the games in hand, it very important that the sponsors that are involved with Friday Night Rivals, year in, year out, just their commitment, and they make this happen for these student athletes, these the bands, the cheerleaders, but certainly the players on the field. They want to see these young high schoolers from around the Low Country featured week in, week out.
It's a special experience, and to be able to say, hey, I played on TV in high school, for a lot of these kids who some of them might not go into the college level.
It will be the only time they ever play on TV.
Yes, exactly. And that's all thanks to our sponsors, and we're super happy to give them this opportunity and having a lot of fun calling these games.
Fort Cheer Squad might not be the last time we mention them tonight either.
Hint, hint.
3rd and 9. Little tunnel screen is incomplete, and Fort Dorchester will return the punt.
Quarterback number 17, Austin Grady. His pass falls incomplete. The intended receiver for the Patriots, number 13.
Look at the replay. I think that's the 4th quarterback we've seen in, Austin Grady. So every quarterback right now getting a possession for Fort Dorchester. It's a long Fort Dorchester roster. It's a big squad. Everybody right now getting opportunities to play.
Also, the biggest player in the Low Country, I haven't seen, he's not on the field currently, but long Fort Dorchester roster, everyone getting the opportunity to play. And one of the people that I love to mention is Jalen Mitchell. You want to hear this? Sophomore, offensive line, 7'1", 445 pounds. This man is 15 years old.
Trey Ryan, another good punt. Takes a bounce inside the 10. Down to the 7. Trey Ryan, 43 yards. He's having a fun 4th quarter.
A lot of fun for him.
Here's our Will Lou Gray stop of the game. Ball security's huge in option offense. Fort Dorchester caused problems tonight.
Yeah, and it was not just this one where it looks like the quarterback for West Ashley, Peterkin, couldn't get the handle on it. There was another one late in the second half as well. The Fort Dorchester, really, if there was any chance for West Ashley to come back in these games, it was those 2 key stops that slowed down the Wildcats and really put this game out of hand.
Will Lou Gray, never stop learning, stop of the game. Well, and speaking of stops, after the opening drive for West Ashley, that's exactly what Fort Dorchester has done.
Yeah, no points.
There has been little to nothing there for the Wildcats.
Ball carrier number 9, Kevin Brown.
Brown a couple of yards on 1st down as we wind under 5 minutes to play here at Wildcat Stadium. Again, next week we'll be up the road. We will get to see the number 1 team in 2A, Oceanside Academy. They face Timberland. Week number 10 of Friday Night Rivals.
Timberland's not
St. Stephen, South Carolina.
St. Stephen's. I've made that drive over there a couple times. Fun one.
Yeah, Timberland has a feisty little football team.
We had them earlier this season, and they were no joke.
Kevin Brown on the carry.
3rd and 5 upcoming. West Ashley looking for a 1st down. Final minutes here at West Ashley High School.
It looks like he might just do the same thing, get a couple runs, try to make something happen, but it seems like both these teams kind of know this game is a little in hand for the Patriots.
Washington picks his way for a couple of yards over the right side, but nothing doing right now for the Wildcats. Fort Dorchester on its way to its 6th win of the season. Steve LaPrade went basically everywhere nationally to play football, played Clearwater Academy here at Fort Dorchester. Actually, not correct. That was on the road. Also went to Atlanta and played Grayson, one of the top teams. I did play at home against Clearwater Academy.
There you go.
Went to Atlanta, played Grayson, one of the top teams in the state of Georgia.
That one was going to be a hard game no matter what.
And went to Gaffney and played at Gaffney, and that was a football game they could have won. And it's paying dividends now that they've returned to the Low Country for region play.
And it's those lessons that they're going to learn from those losses early in the season. Gaffney was the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year in the semifinals. So now you get to see him this year. Maybe you get to see him again later on in November.
Here's our drive of the game. with the timeout on the field, sponsored by Cruise Chevrolet. And it was Ryan Campbell and company opening here in the third quarter, just slamming the door. Campbell did most of the work on the ground and finished it with his legs with a 1-yard touchdown run. That's our drive of the game, sponsored by Cruise Chevrolet. Cruise Chevrolet on Rivers. You've got a friend in the car business.
A real statement to open the second half, and it's been quick ever since then, but still great showing from these Patriots on all rungs of the depth chart.
It wasn't Gaffney last year against for Fort Dorchester. It was Dutch Fork in the playoffs. That was a game that, remember back, Steve LaPrade said, I don't think the better team won tonight. Made some mistakes, hurt themselves, had a chance to maybe win a state title, and kind of let it slip away with some self-inflicted wounds.
Gaffney was in that conversation.
They were. They absolutely were. Our year in, year out. Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Night. Fort Dorchester cheerleaders, our winner tonight. They get 96% of the votes. Sponsored by Delta Force Athletics, home of Delta Force All-Stars. Proudly cheering on the Low Country's high school sports. The ability to do a backflip just blows my mind. Just a standing backflip. Can't do it.
I can't imagine.
Ryan Campbell getting a little bit more work. He finds a seam up the middle and picks up a quick 25, and Fort Dorchester might not quite be done.
You look at the replay by Cruise Chevrolet. Oh, Campbell is the speedster. He hits that hole quick, breaks it, and is able to gain a decent amount of yardage. It's one of these final possessions.
Yeah, 21 quick ones there for Campbell. And now we wind under 2.5 minutes to play.
If you go back to the Gaffney, I believe they were runners-up in state last year.
Yeah, I think the Dutch Fork Fort Dorchester game was a state semifinal. It was the lower state championship.
There it was.
And Gaffney might have very well been the opponent in the state championship.
Yeah. Still, but they played Beaufort, who was also in that championship picture in, I believe, 3A last year, 4A, excuse me, and then you play some of those nationally ranked teams. And look, the record is not what Fort Dorchester is used to. They're used to running the table or getting close to running the table, but you got to look at your overall body of work, and they're peaking at the right time, and the lessons they've learned from those early games are paying off here later on in the season.
Yeah, Gaffney was the 5A state champion a year ago and beat Dutch Fork. Dutch Fork knocked Fort out in the lower state championship. And all of those were one-possession games.
Yeah, definitely.
Riley, number 26, the ball carrier for the Patriots. First down.
So you take a look at last fan cam. Looks like a lot of the students have headed out in this one. It's a cold night, so I could see some of them still braving the elements, cheering on their Wildcats. Good to see some of them still out supporting.
Fan Cam sponsored by Fan Zone. All your sports teams gear under one roof. Running room over the right side and inside the 10-yard line for Davis, I believe. That's another red zone, Fright Night red zone. Boone Hall Fright Nights red zone for Fort Dorchester. It's actually Naj Ridley on the carry. Final 30 seconds of the football game.
Question is, will they try to get an end zone one more time?
Fort with one more snap. They give it to Campbell over the right side. He slashes into the end zone with authority and gets his second touchdown.
Just nice little cherry on top of the cake for the Fort Dorchester Patriots. Campbell wanted to get in there, and nice run for the freshman as we take a look at it again on the Cruise Chevrolet replay. He just got just like a lot of the other players of Fort Dorchester, he got a second gear that he could just turn once he gets to that hole.
Ryan Campbell with his second touchdown of the second half, a Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college, Trident Technical College. New kicker on for Fort. I believe that's Daniel Lopez. He knocks through the PAT. And 51 points tonight for Fort.
Uh-oh. Looks like a little bit too much chatter coming from the Fort Dorchester side.
And a late flag comes in. And so we have some administrative cleanup to do before we congratulate the winners down on the field and hand out a trophy.
Everyone loves trophies.
Now it's time for the player of the game, sponsored by TEC Equipment Rental. You know, there was a wide receiver out here named Multi-Snyder that made some plays tonight for the Fort Dorchester Patriots.
Yeah, we already showed you the 88-yard touchdown. You just saw that him climb the ladder for his first touchdown. He is one of the best athletes on the field tonight, making his presence felt, and Multi-Snyder, he's going to be a big factor for the Fort Dorchester offense as we head into the playoffs, and great game from him today.
Yeah, player of the game sponsored by TEC Equipment Rental. This season's end zone scissor lift is provided by TEC Equipment Rental. We rent the good stuff. By my count, thinking back, I know Snyder had at least 5, if not 6 catches, and was very much around the $140, $150
100%
in terms of yards. Don't have official stats being kept throughout the game, so we kind of have to ballpark it off the top of our head. I remember at least 5 catches, if not 6.
I would say Zeke Beam is the most accurate ballparker in the low country.
Little chip shot on the kickoff. West Ashley will take it and fall down at the 47-yard line, and we might see 1 or 2 more snaps. 11 seconds to go. West Ashley is going to finish their regular season at 7-3. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. Obviously don't have official long-term. The Donnie Kiefer squad with 7 wins this season. That has to be a school record. If they've never had a winning season before, 7 wins has to be a school record. They started 7-0. Lost their last 3 against some really good low country opposition.
Definitely.
But we'll see, a playoff win would just be, like you said a moment ago, a cherry on top for this team.
Yeah, and West Ashley, it's like we were talking about earlier. They got some time to look over the film, go through everything, get ready for the playoffs. And
quick snap. Steve LaPrad's going to walk to midfield, shake hands, and walk away a winner. Fort Dorchester peaking at the right time. 51-7, they win it tonight over West Ashley. Friday night rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. When you win on Friday Night Rivals, you get to celebrate on TV. That's what Trooper Bob and the Fort Dorchester Patriots are going to do right now. Let's go down to Bob on the sidelines.
Number 84 to play of the game. Coach, what makes him such a special player? And your thoughts on his game? 51 points.
Well, I thought we played fantastic. We played hard teams early to get ready for this time of year. It's all coming together. These guys are playing daggone good. And what makes him so good is those guys blocking for him, the guy throwing it, and he can catch it and he can run. Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy your win, Coach.
Fort Dorchester win it 51-44 over rival West Ashley. They're a happy group tonight. Week number 9 in the books. Reminder, join tonight, ABC News 4's Scotty Eisberg and Natalie Spalla on Friday Night Rivals tonight at 11:05. Scores and highlights from throughout the Low Country. Next week, season finale of Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruise Chevrolet. We make the trip northeast to Timberland as the Wolves play host to the Land Sharks of Oceanside Academy. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. on MyTV Charleston. For Sean Mahoney and Trooper Bob, I'm Zeke Beam. So long from West Ashley High School. 51-7. Fort Dorchester wins it tonight. We'll see you next week on Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruise Chevrolet.